Hi, I'm Radiance and welcome to my channel. Usually you find me on this channel cooking up enticing recipes that are equally delicious and creative, sometimes simple and foodie inspired. But today I want to cook up a thought that I had, and how doing what I love to do has helped me to create the life that I want and desire, and also it's helped me out in life period. So this is how cooking helped me with life skills. So first and foremost, when I was growing up, I had all these ideas of what I wanted to be. At one point I wanted to be a lawyer, because I really wanted to help and represent people for the people. I wanted to be a personal assistant to help people out. I wanted to be a PA, which is a physician's assistant, because I figured, I can still help people heal and help them out without having to go through all those years of medical school. That didn't happen. I wanted to be a nurse. That didn't happen. And I even ended up going to school later on, and going towards a paralegal study and also computer science, and ended up leaving school. That's a story for another day. But the point is, none of that made me happy. None of that made me happy. And what happened was cooking was something that I loved from when I was younger. So much so that I would go to my grandmother's house and I would take her cookbooks and I would read them, and I would actually jot them down and create my own cookbooks. Yes, I tried doing that. Now, I didn't author my own cookbooks, but I would take like The Joy of Cooking, which is a really old school cookbook, and I would copy the recipes out, and I would dream like I could do that. And and at that time I was really young, so I wasn't in the kitchen yet, but I really just loved the way things were presented. And I started watching more, Food Network and Food TV and different TV shows of people cooking, and I really loved it. And even going to school, I was always in home ec classes. So I should have known right then and there that I loved it, but I didn't even think about like making a career out of it. And another true story is one of the first cookbooks I ever received, and even books of my own, which I still have to this day, and I'll share with you guys one day, was a cookbook on chocolate. Yes, a cookbook on chocolate. And I have a passion for that as well. So with that being said, what has cooking, which is what I ended up doing and I love, taught me about life? Well, it's taught me that it's okay to fail and start again. Yes, it's okay to fail and start again. And I say that because there have been many times when I have, tried a recipe out, being assured that I could do this thing, and it didn't work out, maybe it came out too burnt because I put it too high. Sometimes I've tried to veganize things or make things with alternative ingredients, and it was too flat, it was too goopy, it just wasn't what the picture looked like, right? Or what I thought it was going to be. Or it came out looking pretty decently, but it didn't taste good because I've actually forgotten the sugar. Like one time I tried to make some kind of like a cherry, healthier version of a dessert for myself, and I bought tart cherries, or bought cherries, and made this little cake and forgot the sugar and baked the whole thing and went to taste it, and I was like, and that's what happened because I forgot the sugar. So it's taught me that you can fail, but you can try again, you can start over again. And that taught me the next time to add sugar, right? It's taught me that you definitely have to sometimes read a manual, right? Look at some perspective, but it's also okay to go your own way, right? It's okay to go your own way. So I liken that to recipes. Recipes to me at this point are just a guideline. And I say that because sometimes, yes, I follow recipes to a T. I've done that sometimes, or a lot, even now when I've never made something. But because I tend to experiment a lot, and because a lot of the times I'm taking a classic recipe that is not plant-based or dairy-free, or a way that I prefer, and sometimes I'm cooking for people that have different dietary requirements than myself. It could be a client. What ends up happening is I'll end up taking a classic regular recipe and making it to fit their diet, and some of the ingredients don't fit into what I need to give them the best experience, the best food experience. So what I do sometimes is use it as a guideline. Same thing with life. Sometimes when you read things, go through things, or look at a manual, it is just a guideline. Now, there is an exception. If you're doing IKEA furniture, don't just use it as a guideline. Although there have been times, honestly, when I built IKEA furniture with some help, of course, and missed a screw and it still worked out. I don't know how that is, but just saying, just a precursor. Anyway, back to the subject. My point is, sometimes things are just a guideline, but do not afraid to put your own spin on it. Don't be afraid to add your own zhuzh, add your own magic. Oftentimes, that's what is different. And I'm going to make another point in that. I do not believe that everyone is going to do things the same. We're all individuals, right? And so what cooking has taught me is that even sometimes when I share a recipe with someone, it's not going to come out the same, right? Many years ago, I had a baked chicken recipe, right? And honestly speaking, the ingredients, and I still have the ingredients to this day, I don't make it anymore. Maybe I'll make a tofu version, but literally it was like maybe 2 different sauce ingredients and a couple of seasonings. It was maybe like 5 or 6 ingredients that went on some chicken wings. And I gave it to one of my sister friends, and she made it, and she's like, I don't know why it just didn't come out the same. She also made my mac and cheese that I used to make when I ate dairy. It was a dairy mac and cheese, and I gave her the same exact ingredients, and it didn't come out the same. And what I learned from that is, even if you give someone an idea or you give someone a recipe, right, or something you've written, them carrying out doesn't always mean it's going to turn out the same. Usually it's not. And the reason being is because when you are putting your energy into something and you are doing something, it's coming from you and it's going to have your magic on it. So don't expect, also another life lesson, don't expect that someone else is going to carry out something the way you're carrying it out. Sometimes when things come your way and when you're given something to do, it's for you and just you. It's not for anyone else to carry out because they can never do it the way that you are meant to do it. So sometimes things are just meant for you, right? And I've had that happen to me in the kitchen in professional settings where I was told to carry out something, someone came in and did something else, and it didn't turn out the same. And it was a recipe to a T, but the dish didn't turn out the same. And it came back being asked, why didn't, Chef Radiance, and they were like, oh, she wasn't here. And that's why, because there was a difference in taste, Some things, are very, very minutely, can be the same, but most times it's not. So that is something that I would say that I've learned. Honor your magic, honor your gifts, right? And be bold in that, and sometimes you're meant to do that. I've learned to take criticism fairly, but with a grain of salt. So I feel like, because I've been in professional cooking settings like that, you'll get criticism. Now, take it all with a grain of salt. Take it for fuel. Do not take it to belittle yourself, and don't take it to mean that you're not good at what you're doing. Criticism does not in any way, to me, reflect on your gift and what you have to give this world. So take the criticism in, learn from it, and then go forward. Continue to put your magic and spin on it and use it as a level up, as an elevation to bring you to that next level, to bring you to that next thing, and to keep going. So that's what I would say that the criticism I've experienced in my, cooking career has, taught me. Lastly, cooking has allowed me to feel accomplished, right? Because I would start something, or I would see a recipe, or I have a vision in mind of, I want this to be vegan, or I want to veganize this, or this is the final dish I want to come out with. And sometimes I begin with the end in mind, and through the challenges, through the ups and downs, through the hills, when I get to that point of finally completing it, I then realize after I've done that, I feel accomplished. Now here's the trick though. There are times, even when I haven't completed it the way I want to, or it hasn't come out the way I want to, where I still feel accomplished. So I would encourage you, no matter what, whether it's completed and tastes the way you want it to, or it comes out the way you want to or not, you trying, you doing, you pushing, it's still an accomplishment because you have still done it, right? You're still doing it. And you have time to do it again, right? You have a chance to do it again. If that's the case, keep going. But do not detach from or don't recognize your accomplishment, right? Sometimes you're going to feel overwhelmed and like you have no idea. Guess what? Go back to the basics. That's something else I've learned too. When it comes to cooking, sometimes I just go back to the basics and continue to practice some of the basics. And sometimes it gives me encouragement to then actually revisit and reframe how I'm looking at a recipe and also life. So thank you so much for joining me. I want you to be encouraged and know that, for me, it's cooking, but look at your life and maybe look at the things you're doing that would help you to, with how you move in life, right? And I hope this encourages you. I hope this encourages you to keep going. And if for some reason you feel stuck or have no idea, once again, go back to the basics. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video and you feel encouraged, please like it. Leave a comment below. Let me know maybe what you've learned from the things that you're passionate about and that you're doing in life. And subscribe to my channel as well as click on the link below and join my free VIP group. Thank you so much for joining me and you have a great one. Be inspired.